I am tearing up.
I just about screamed right now, and I'm not even there.
Now that's inspirational, Natalie. I feel inspired today.
I could be here for another hour.
And I was talking to my class. There were only 2 of us, and the other guy was in the hospital. So here I am.
And I always go, he winds up homeless on the street. It's my fault.
Yeah, now you sound like my wife.
And you can get off.
I don't know. Call it Google. Call it Google.
We're in control. Alexa, how does he get across?
Paul, I cut you off earlier. What were you going to say?
What?
Dang it! Don't do that to me, Paul. Don't do that to me, man.
I don't know what got into my head, but I thought this thought, if I'm working year round, I might as well get paid year round.
Sweet Talk is a weekly 20-minute podcast brought to you by the Continuing Education and Workforce Training Division of Idaho State University's College of Technology. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud, and subscribe today. Now, it's time to get started with Sweet Talk.
Welcome, everyone, to Sweet Talk, the weekly podcast of Continuing Education Workforce Training. And I am Paul Dickey, the Video Instruction Manager and Apprenticeship Coordinator for what we like to refer to as SWEET. And I'm joined today by my recurring co-host, Gary Salazar, the Director of Continuing Education Workforce Training. Gary, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Paul. I'm doing great. Thank you very much. And spring looks like it's out there. What a beautiful day it is outside.
It is. It's one of those I want to play hooky days.
Well, I think you're going to take the rest of the day off, is what I heard. There's a rumor going around.
There's a rumor that I have. Gary's practically trying to kick me out of the door here. And part of that reason why we might be leaving early is because next week we have an event going on that we're all going to be putting some time in. Gary, what's happening next week?
Yeah, next week, Wednesday and Thursday, we're doing our construction combine, really heavy involvement with our community. Home Depot is a big player, National Guard, AGC, tons of great community folks who are contributing, and a lot of participants I hear. So we're going to be busy next week. And we wanted to take opportunity to get this one podcast in with our host, our guest today, and get that one in the can so that, we can move forward, they can move forward, and then we'll have this podcast we can put out to everybody here shortly.
Yes. So who is our guest today, Gary?
I'm glad you asked, Paul. I mean, we have a great guest on here. It's Brayden Hernandez. Brayden is one of the cohorts there at Primetime Auctions here in our community in Pocatello. They do a fantastic thing with auctions, and we're here to learn more about the auction business and a little bit about Brandon and what they do. So welcome, Brayden. I'm sorry. I keep calling you Brandon. I don't know where that's coming from. It's Brayden Hernandez. You did tell you we're completely professional here, didn't we? Brayden Hernandez is joining us from Primetime Auctions. Welcome, Brayden. I appreciate you taking the time. Yes. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started with Primetime?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. So Primetime is actually a family business here. It actually started with my grandma way back in the early 1970s. She had bought an antique store for my uncle, and after so many years, my dad had bought it from her. And now my parents run it, and I'm here doing the marketing and all the shipping and everything. So
you're doing the marketing and the shipping and everything?
And everything, and the sales and whatever you can name them.
Well, that's typical for a family business, isn't it, Brayden? You do everything.
Yeah. Everybody's touching everything all the time.
Excellent.
Oh my gosh. And that business, it runs all week long, doesn't it? I mean, you do auctions all over the place.
Oh yeah. We're getting back into our busy season here. We've got our 2 auctions every month, the second Saturday and fourth Wednesday, but we're getting back into our busy season where you'll see we'll have some estates almost every week here, 1 or 2. So
well, I think this is really exciting, and I appreciate you coming on. I find this business of auctioning just so compelling. I mean, one, I see it as a great service to our community, where a lot of people who just want to move on with some furniture, some things, they're looking for a place where they can maybe make a few dollars. pass it on to somebody else who's looking for it, but also there's people out there looking for good deals, and you kind of bring both parties together in this business. And it started with your grandmother in the 70s. Oh my gosh. Do you know how she got into this? What was your origin of this?
Yeah, so she was running a secondhand store is what she was doing. And my grandfather was he was working over at Pacific Steel. So she was looking to get rid of some of the things that weren't selling in the secondhand store. And she kind of just started doing a weekly auction every Friday night, and it's just grown from there.
Well, if that was in the 70s, that was a live face-to-face auction, right?
Yep.
Which is something you still do. Plus now you're doing it online.
So because of COVID, we've stopped doing live auctions for the time being, but here in the next couple months, we're looking to get those started up again. So people are excited for that. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about that, how you handled COVID when that happened.
Yeah. It was hard for us because before COVID, our second Saturday auction would be live every month. And our fourth Wednesday auction would just be online only. So a lot of our consistent customers miss the live auctions, but because of COVID, we couldn't really gather that many people. But luckily, we had online auctions in place, and it's something that we were already getting pretty fluent with. So it made the transition pretty seamless. And I think we actually capitalized pretty well.
It's funny you say that people missing the auction, because here in Pocatello area, the auction is almost like an event. It's like the thing that some people do on that Saturday, going, I'm going to the auction, and you have regulars that go all the time, don't you?
Oh yeah. We've got some of my favorite people ever show up every month. Gary's a great customer of ours. I've known Gary for a long time.
Yeah, this office knows that I go to auctions because I bring back some odd stuff every now and then. We pass it on.
That's awesome. We love to sell the weird stuff.
Weird stuff.
Yep. That's what we call it around here.
Oh, that is so cool. And I like the fact that you've got some longevity here. I mean, your family does. It's a great business. You're in a new location. I remember you used to be in another location, but you've moved now and you've spread out as you've grown. Can you tell the audience, a little bit about how you've moved out and where you're at now?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people might remember us down on the corner over where the new Maverick is. It was 3400 South 5th, right off the exit there.
Yeah.
So we've actually just moved into town, just maybe a half mile more. If people remember the old Ford Johnson truck stop, that used to be there. It's been an abandoned building for a long time. So the last year we've kind of taken on the project of renovating that and turning that into our location here. So right now we're operating out of the old Fort Johnson and the old Papa Paul's building right across from the cemetery. Renovations are going great. Everything's getting all put together and it's starting to shape up, look like a real business here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Excellent.
looking good.
Yeah.
Paul, I think you currently have, Brayden, you currently have another location on Chiefs. Avenue of the Chiefs. That's the one I'm thinking about, right?
Correct. Yep.
Is that going to stay there, or are you going to consolidate everything down to the location you talked about?
So the plan right now is to keep that location up on Avenue of the Chiefs there, because there's 4 acres there, and we'd like to have a lot of room for equipment. And it was a little bit more difficult to access in the winter, but it'll get used a lot more this summer. But we'll probably keep both locations just because they're near each other, and it's a good spot to store items kind of out of the way.
Oh, that's neat. And that makes sense to me too, because you probably have, as I've seen the little bit of it, you move so quickly from auction to auction. Stuff comes in, stuff goes out, and you probably need some places to, put things temporarily as you move them around, which that would come in handy for. But for our audience's sake, we can't depend that everybody here is listening knows what the process for an auction is. Brayden, would you mind kind of talking to us as if, hey, we didn't know what an auction is. How would we be able to get something into you, and what could we expect?
Yeah, absolutely. We love it when people bring things down for us to sell. It's a pretty simple process. You'll give us a call, tell us kind of what we're working with, what items you're looking at selling. We'll qualify those items, and then once we've decided you're a good fit for auction, you'll come down, you'll fill out a contract, and we'll get it on the auction. You get a check in the mail 10 to 14 days afterwards. So it's a pretty
Oh my
simple
gosh.
hands-off process for you.
Very easy to do. When
Mhm.
you say just give you a call, so we just call the office, and would we be talking with you or somebody else out there, or anybody there?
Yeah. So you might get a hold of me if you get lucky. You'll usually get a hold of our receptionist. Her name's Tiffany. She's great. She's very helpful. You'll usually get a hold of one of the ladies here, and they're great. They'll help you out, get a contract and everything, and get you over to an auction specialist that can kind of pre-qualify some items for you, and get everything sold.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where do you get people calling in to sell stuff? I mean, I can imagine here our local community going
Mhm.
out to like American Falls, but do you get people from further away who want to bring
Oh, yeah.
things in?
Yeah. We do auctions like in the Idaho Falls area all the time. Like consistently we're doing an hour around here, but more recently we've kind of been getting into the Jackson Hole area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've done a couple of auctions up there, and I just took another call to go look at one up in Alpine, Wyoming, which is pretty close. But we're starting to branch out there, and if it's worth it, we'll go anywhere for an auction. If they got good stuff and they want to sell it, we'll be there.
Okay, that's great. It's good to hear that you've got that kind of growth, because
Mhm.
clearly there's people out there who want to work with an auction on that. Which brings back a question dear to my heart, and not that I want to go this way, but how does somebody become an auctioneer? The guys who do that quick yelling into the numbers and all.
Mhm.
Do you do that?
So personally, I don't yet.
Yet.
It's a skill to learn. So there is an auctioneering school that you can go to.
Really?
It's like a college. So it's really just a 2-week program. For most of them, you'll just fly into Colorado, or there's one in Montana, and they'll sit down with you and they'll teach you the majority of the auction business, kind of the generals on what you need to know. And then they'll teach you how to do the bid chant. And
Well,
Bid chant.
I guess it's not just the chant. Also, it's also being able to recognize the gestures.
yeah, there's a lot to it. All the hand motions and all the look of people. Oh yeah,
because
it's fun to learn.
I mean, I'm sure if someone misses auctioneer misses a gesture and misses someone's bid, there might be someone a little upset.
Yeah. We've got what we call bid spotters. So the auctioneer's always got a couple of assistants watching the crowd with them. Yeah. So that's what I do most of the time when we do a live auction, and we yell real loud so the auctioneer can hear us every time we catch a bid.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey, go back a second, Brayden. That's school. Is that something you all could teach down here? Could we do a class if you wanted to?
So we can't. You have to actually have a certification to teach it.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's pretty in depth. It's not something that people would just go to if you're looking to learn how to do the auction chant. It's if you're looking to start an auction business, that's where you're going to go to. And I've watched some good YouTube videos on kind of getting started on an auction chant. So if y'all are interested out there, they got videos out there for you.
All right.
Learn.
That sounds like a great team building event to bring them on out there and everybody try an auction chant.
Oh yeah, I hear the attempts all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah, people try for me.
Oh.
You
So,
record them?
No.
You don't record
I used
them?
to. Nope, not anymore. No.
Oh, that's cool. Can anybody participate in an auction, or do you have age limits you got to watch, or what's the limit, if any?
Yeah, so there's not really any limit to being in the auction. There are item specific limits like firearms and cars.
Okay.
That have some certain like titling requirements and background checks. But other than that, we are a 100% public auction. Everybody is welcome to get on there and bid, and it's for the public. So everybody's welcome. So
previously I had mentioned that you have the regulars.
Yeah.
And I've known in the area, I've known a couple of regulars. And sometimes it's not about they're not going really for the thing. They're going there to win.
Yes. Yep.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
people
You must
love.
see a lot of that.
Oh yeah, you always get the people that come in after the auction and say, I would have paid $200 less for that, but I was battling with somebody. they'll catch the person that was bidding against them, and they'll let them know they were battling it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's a good
Oh.
competition.
I've had conversations with people that purposely they're bidding on something, someone outbids them, and then they go, you know what, I'm just going to bid more because I'm going to make this guy pay more for this thing now. And like they're just pushing their luck just to raise that bid.
Oh yeah, it's pure spite, but hey, as long as the prices are going up,
Oh, I'm sure you see all sorts of situations like that. I've got a curious question about if you take something in to put into a lot, and I hope you'll tell me what a lot is, but I see the word lot out there a lot. But if you take something, how about that? A lot, yes. Yeah, I see that much. If you take something in, but it doesn't go in the auction, what happens to it after it's not picked up by anybody?
Yeah, so that can happen a couple of different ways. So we do get a lot of items that are left over, and that's from either people are just taking what they want out of the lot, or it just never got paid for or picked up. And so, well, I'll start off with what a lot is, I guess. A lot is a grouping of items. We usually put a couple of things together in a lot that you can buy, and you'll get all of that for one money. So the way that things get left behind when they don't get paid for, we end up kind of gathering it all up, and we'll either try and resell it, or we'll call the seller back and we'll let them know that it's been left here and they can come and pick it up if they'd like. So a couple of different ways.
And if they choose not to come pick it up and they leave it, and you can't put it in the next auction, or it's not going,
yeah,
is it trash bin time?
Exactly. Yeah, we make a couple of dump runs. Yeah.
Well, that's sad to hear, but I'm sure that's part of the business as well.
It is. Yeah,
that's going to happen.
Yeah.
How if Paul or I or anybody in our staff said, you know, I want to go work at Primetime, I like this, what kind of things would you be looking for? What qualities would you look for in your employees?
Yeah. So we've got a lot of different positions here at Primetime. It's a very widespreading business. So one of the main things we're kind of always looking for is a cataloger. And those are the people that will go through and they'll take pictures of all the items that you see on our website. They'll take those pictures and they'll describe them, and they'll get descriptions made up and everything for you to look at. So that's one of our biggest departments and our most important. So we're always looking to hire for that. We currently are hiring for construction crew as well. And that's just people that are working on helping us renovate everything. Getting everything looking nice. So we've got everything from office work to hard hand labor. So anything you're looking for, Gary, we'll take you.
You want the hard handling labor, right, Gary?
Oh yeah, Gary's got the muscles, man.
You know, I lift enough stuff out of there. I ought to be able to handle some.
I know. I've seen you do it.
Excellent. Okay, so now you've told me what happens to stuff that doesn't get moved on, and we've talked about the types of people here. This is Paul and I were talking before you came on and go, hey, this is a question I really want to get to. So one of us has got to ask him.
Yes.
You know, in this kind of environment, we have so many, you're exposed to so many different kinds of people and situations. There got to be one or two good stories, and there are funny things that have happened on the way to the auction or such. Can you share a story that you remember? You know, don't want to embarrass anybody unless it's your mom or dad. They would be okay with.
Yeah. I mean, we've had so many just crazy things happen at auction. I think one of my personal favorites, we were up at one of our estates and we were doing loadout. And it was this nice old lady, and she was there kind of helping watch everything go out. And she had this little cat that had been just living at her house and kind of like a stray, and it had gone into the driveway, crawled up one of our customers up into the engine bay of their U-Haul, So we took half an hour out of loadout with quite a few of our customers, and we dug him. I crawled up under that U-Haul and dug him out, and now my cataloger actually has that cat, and his name's Holo.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Oh gosh. Yep. That's one of my favorites.
So
That's a great story. Got to
Yeah.
watch out for the animals.
All over the place. Yeah.
So,
Go ahead, Paul.
no, I mean, have you ever seen like, what was the most contentious cross bid thing you've ever seen?
Yeah, it definitely gets heated a little bit sometimes. I know there was, I wouldn't say it often happens between customers. I think people get upset with themselves or with the auctioneer. I know we had one gentleman, we were doing an auction out at Lava Hot Springs, actually at the water park.
Yeah.
And that's a difficult location just because it's so spread out. And we had missed this one gentleman's bid a couple of times because he was sitting in the way back up on top of the hill, and we couldn't see him waving at us. So he ended up getting pretty upset and coming down and yelling at us during the auction. But we deal with a lot of contentious people. It's gone down since the live auctions have stopped. They just show up in the office now.
Yeah, online's a little bit easier to take.
Yeah, I get the phone call instead of having to look at them. So
that's great. You just finished an auction here this week, right? So you're in that phase where stuff is being picked up. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And you've already got several auctions kind of dated out, like twice a month, and you've got them online so people can go down and preview them either online or whatever's there. People who are looking for specific things, can they come in and just walk around and look and see what's coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best piece of advice I would just say is keep an eye out for our upcoming auctions. And if you come 2 days or a day before that auction and look at everything, you can absolutely walk through the whole property, look at everything we've got up for sale. But that way you'll know everything that we've got coming up, and come and look the day before for sure. Preview is super important.
All right. Well, I got to put my bid in for a foosball table. The office, all of our student workers here said, "Hey, we want a foosball table."
Foosball table.
Sure. As soon as I see one coming through auction.
That and a ping pong table. I got them both.
Table.
Oh, really?
I know. Excellent. I've got a ping pong table. I have to double check on the foosball.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hey, we're getting down close to the end of our 20 minutes, and I always, Paul's really good at this, but so Paul and I would like to make sure that we give people, the due recognition of your business. And so if somebody wanted to reach out to you, it's Primetime Auctions. You're on the web, you have a website, you have a phone number. Did you already give them the phone number out there?
Nope.
Okay. What's a good phone number if somebody wanted to call in to ask a question or to ask, hey, how do I do some online bidding?
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to give us a call. The phone number is 208-232-4912, or you can visit us at primetimeauctions.com. And you'll find most answers to most questions on there. But anything else, please give us a call. We're happy to help.
Excellent.
That's excellent. Well, I may have to head out there one more time. I did my pickup yesterday.
Awesome.
Brayden. So my stuff is out. You're good. And Paul, I got
your stuff is out. That's what matters, Gary.
That's what matters.
I didn't want anybody else to get to it. I got myself a very gnarly looking bicycle helmet with spikes coming out. Not for me.
Okay. All right.
But that'll be an awesome grandkid gift. So looking forward to being able to do something with that. Awesome. Oh, sorry, you're hearing my timer go off. We're at the 20 minutes. How about that?
Yeah, it goes by fast. So one last question. What do you find the best part about the auction business, Brayden?
The people, for sure. I've met some of my favorite people on this whole planet through this business, and it's really great to be able to connect with the community and connect with my customers, and really be out there and kind of recognized for what we do for the community and what the community does for us. So the people's the best part, for sure.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
awesome. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
So
guys.
in closing, for everybody who's out there listening, Brian again, I go again, Brayden Hernandez, who's been our guest on Primetime Auctions today. Brayden and his family and this family-owned business here in the Pocatello community, they do everything, and they're looking for people to help too. If you've got something in addition to wanting to get something into auction, and they're very, very helpful. I can personally talk to that point. They've been super helpful every time I go out there and just look around or just say hi. I encourage everybody to visit with them and talk to them about the auction business. Brayden, thank you for joining us here at
thank you so
Sweet
much.
Talk.
Yes, thank you
It's been a
both.
wonderful
Thanks for having me.
experience.
Yeah, it was great. Good time.
Now, if you want to, if anyone wants to reach out and contact us, they can do that by emailing us at cetrain@isu.edu, visiting our webpage at cetrain.isu.edu, or you can call us the old-fashioned way at 208-282-3372. Gary, it's always a pleasure doing these podcasts with you. And, again, Brayden, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks,
everybody,
guys.
thanks a lot. You all be safe out there.
You guys as well.